Hey guys, how we doing? So we're back on another Nux Taku video. I like his analysis stuff. The Kakashi one was so good. I absolutely loved it. I nearly started crying at the end of that. Lame! But he's gone and uploaded another one called How My Hero Academia Creates Subconscious Terror featuring All For One and Stain, and I feel like this is going to be an interesting look. I am loving My Hero Academia. Absolutely loving it. Season started back up again and yeah, it's good. I'm liking how it's like another tournament arc thing, but like, you know. Anyway, so I'll get into that. That's for another discussion. How My Hero Academia Creates Subconscious Terror featuring All For One and Stain.
Fear is fascinating, especially in fiction. If either me or you get scared by something, it's basically an impulse that naturally resides within each of us as a defense mechanism to not do anything stupid. Different people are afraid of different things, and some with higher fear tolerances than others. However, most of this comes from traumatic past experiences, even subconsciously. Many studies show that someone who's dropped as a baby will be more likely to have a fear of heights, and so on. In fiction, however, it's not the subconscious of the characters that feel fear from past experiences. Being that they're only creations, they have no subconsciouses. It's the creator that defines when these characters should be afraid and when they should be brave. It's a style of character writing where one must place themselves inside the psyche of their characters to make them feel fear in a natural-seeming situation. Since we as viewers have grown to know these characters more personally, that fear that's bestowed upon the characters, if it's done properly, it should be related to us as well. But now here's when things get a little tricky. If the character in that situation would be brave or afraid, that does not necessarily relate to me. I'm not nearly as fearless as Aoyama, and I'm not nearly as much of a pussy as Moonfish. That coward! So when Aoyama acts with full bravery to save Tokoyami from Mr. Compress, disregarding himself to selflessness to save a friend. While I enjoyed watching, his heroicness immensely, I cannot relate on a personal level because I am not nearly as badass as Aoyama and would be far too afraid of these villain guys to stand up against them.
I wouldn't do anything. I'd be like,
Aoyama.
run away.
And despite everything I've said about Aoyama, I still want Moonfish in Smash. Where is Moonfish, Sakurai? Fuck Waluigi! So, because it's hard to define fear on a personal level without actually doing a character analysis, there were two scenes in My Hero Academia where the entire on-screen cast felt the same levels of paralyzing, tangible fear. The first was when confronted by the ideology of Stain, and the second was during the introduction of All For One. These two situations teach you how Hero Academia handles fear in general, and also, it's through these two moments that you can see the vast difference in character writing between All For One and Stain. When a series I'm watching gets a natural, emotional response from me, that's the moment I feel like I'm part of the series. Whether it makes me feel chills of ice, whether it brings me to the verge of tears, or whether I feel actual shudders of exhilaration. Oh god, I felt for Genius. I was like, whoa. That's when the anime is doing its job right. Whether it's a character I love indubitably, or a character that I hate entirely, claiming a passionate emotion from the viewer should be the goal of the show. As a simple example of this, Shiapoof from Hunter x Hunter is a character designed to hate him, but I hate him with such a passion I love him as far as a character. I just wouldn't want to be his roommate. Both of these epic moments in My Hero Academia, though, definitely accomplished this goal, and I remember each of these scenes vividly by the emotional response I've had while watching them initially. The thing about them that piqued my interest enough to make an entire video on the subject alone was the fact that these two scenes, despite looking plainly similar, affected me completely differently. My assumption is they affected every viewer differently, whether subconsciously or consciously. So now, let's try to figure out the hows and the whys.
Okay,
this is one of my satire or one of my philosophical analyses videos. This is more covering the mechanics of the narrative in the series and character writing, but with the twist of trying to understand the viewer's psychology and emotions as well. If you enjoyed this type of thing too, feel free to let me know in the comments, and feel free to subscribble if you want more, because I actually had a really great time making this video. Before we begin talking about character psychologies and what makes each of these epic villains tick, as far as my understanding of viewer emotional responses go, whatever that emotional response may be, it must resonate with the overall theme and setting of the anime. To try to give an example as to what I'm referring to, if we were watching a cute slice-of-life romance anime, and finally, the obligatory tsundere main love interest decides she likes the protagonist after all, and right when they are about to hold hands for the first time, the Titans break down the walls of the city, eat the girlfriends, and wreak havoc on the nation. It's now up to the protagonist to take vengeance and destroy the Titans. Yeah, yes, I guess it is pretty sad that the girlfriend is now dead, damn it. But being that it's in complete opposition with the narrative theme, it would not find an emotional response within me. While I understand this case may be slight hyperbole on my end, and unlikely to find anything like that outside the world of Pop Team Epic, the intention of trying to get across is valid.
Pop Team
If any
Epic
story is
t-shirt right
trying
now.
to get any viewer to emit emotion, it has to be an epic moment that resides within the themes of the greater story. That's the first thing I would like to point out about Stain and All for One, and how fear emanates from these two short moments, and how it fuses flawlessly to the setting every character and every viewer cohabitates within. Because while, yes, it is a lesser degree, but we feel exactly the same way as the characters in these moments. If I were to sum up the greater theme and setting of Hero Academia in one sentence, it would be, Deku wants to become the most powerful hero, and through that, the symbol of peace for society. So he therefore needs the strength to take down ultimate society-destroying villains. He needs to become the symbol of peace to be a beacon of hope for the society itself. So personal story arcs aside, that is the narrative. Deku understands that he needs to be powerful as the physical guardian of society, and understands that he needs to be this symbol of peace as the emotional guardian of society. Taking a quick peek at All for One and Stain, All for One's paralyzingly terrifying moment was as the appearance of the ultimate brute force. Strength possibly strong enough to topple all the might thrown at him. His appearance was terrifying because he threatened the physical attribute of All Might. What if this time society won't be able to physically be protected? Now, Stain's paralyzingly terrifying moment was as the appearance of the ultimate counter-ideology, a philosophy possibly strong enough to topple all the ideals the symbol of peace entail. What if this time society won't be able to be emotionally protected? These are the two themes that went into the creation of Hero Academia and the creation of the so-called symbol of peace. That's the first step in making them feel real, and for a potential audience to truly feel embedded in the world. Both of these moments thematically struck home and were therefore able to achieve the heights of emotional awesomeness. Which is in part why Moonfish is the greatest villain to come out of My Hero Academia, and possibly the greatest villain of all time after, I shudder to say his name, King DDD. But I'm afraid to start talking about Moonfish at length, being that he can easily take over the rest of this script, because Moonfish resides past the fourth wall. But the other interesting point, contrasting these two terrifying moments, is something fascinatingly novel, despite honestly making perfect sense, and it should have even been expected. Being that All for One thematically fit into the category of physical threat, he had his terrifying moment when he first showed up on screen, and instantaneously annihilated a whole squad of pro-heroes. At that moment, the tangible terror in the air strangled the nearby Class 1A students like a vice as impending doom encroached upon society. This was a seemingly unstoppable force that isn't even in the same league as any currently living character in the world aside from possibly All Might. Well, and obviously Moonfish, but then again, he doesn't affiliate himself with such trivial matters such as fate of the universe. I will cover him another day. I will cover him another day. But what that means about All for One is if All Might cannot stop him, he cannot be stopped, and the world becomes his inevitable assenting plaything. Unfortunately for our watching Class 1A heroes, at that point in time they did not realize All Might would win. There was a viable possibility that it would be All Might's downfall. The terror at play here takes place before we truly see anything about All for One. It's a fear of the unknown and his supreme yet unknown, possibly unlimited limitations. In the sequence of narrative events, All for One's epic moment was his entrance before his big fight, whereas Stain's epic moment was right after his big fight when he was already defeated. Stain's perverted, warped ideals of what makes a hero means in his mind, even though Endeavor saved hundreds of people, he is fit to be punished for his impure intentions, and just the opposite. When the Flying Nomu snatches up Deku, and despite there already being a ton of heroes at the scene, the only one that took flight was Stain. The brutally defeated and captured Stain saved Deku, our main character that defeated him moments ago. Before Stain did that, we fully understand his ideology. We knew what he was trying to say, and the logic implemented in defending his actions. But despite all that, his ideology, at least to us, was not internalized. But not only to us was it not internalized, it wasn't internalized to any of the heroes in the vicinity either. Very few people, even in our real world, actually consider themselves a bad person. Everyone who we would define as a bad guy surely has their own personal ideology as to why they're actually not as wrong as we think they are, even though they are. More often than not, however, the ideology is born as an excuse to
God.
commit wrong things, and it remains as merely a facade to injustice, convincing themselves that what they're doing holds some shred of morality. The thing that made Stain's scene so really truly terrifying was that he did not commit crimes and then come up with an ideology as an excuse, but he meant it with his whole heart and soul.
Did everything
so Stain
with
saving
purpose.
Deku proved that he was more established in his own convictions than any other character is in the entire series, and it shook everyone to their core. Unlike All For One, who was feared because of the unknown future outcome, Stain was being feared for being resolute in an ultimate conviction that's powerful enough to cause the most drastic upheaval to the world. When all the heroes and viewers were paralyzed before Stain, finally internalizing that Stain genuinely believes in his ideology, it was due to just as much awe as it was fear. In fact, far more awe than fear. Stain at this point isn't nearly as powerful as almost anyone there. He's beaten, brooded, and tattered, and Endeavor's a freaking boss. He's no longer a physical threat in the slightest, but it's only when his physical prowess completely subsides that we can truly see who he is and what he actually believes. He isn't acting all high and mighty because of his strength. His mind is perverted in the sense that he's literally doing exactly what he thinks is right. In his mind, he is righteous. It's an infectious ideology that's dangerous to exist for the populace, and we see why later, where dozens of villains around the world are adorning Stain's flag and sprouting because of Stain's ideals. Whether to these new villains themselves the ideals are legitimized or not, that's not the point. Toga's a psycho bitch and would kill people even without Stain having his ideology stuff. But with this ideology as a guise, it can give her psychotic passion direction. The fear of Stain's convictions were not merely fear of an unknown future, but in everyone's mind watching him, to at least some sort of extent, they related to Stain. They understood him very well despite him being a ruthless serial killer. They understood his mind, and in a subconscious sense, they agreed with what he was saying. It's a known fact that many Secret Service profilers trying to find criminals by putting themselves in the mindsets of these criminals, a lot of these profiles are deemed unfit for duty because they themselves are infected, as it were, and start picking up criminal tendencies.
That's weird.
Once that happens, very often, these profilers are psych patients for life, because the realization of one's own psyche and what one's psyche has become is what makes this moment so tantalizingly terrifying. The two reasons that prompted me to actually go along and make one of these videos on a topic that you never knew you wanted were, one, these two are two of my favorite moments in the entire series, with Stain's being my favorite easily. So I was immediately interested in contrasting them. I just didn't have the right push to do it otherwise. Reason number two is I got a comment making fun of me trying to analyze the emotional responses of the viewers to the series because, quote, "It's impossible to analyze emotion, so you're full of shit." Yeah, so needless to say, I had to make an emotional analysis video right after that. I just had to. You know me. I understand. I'm not amazing at it yet. I do hope to improve with this, just like everything else is slowly improving. If you enjoy any form of in-depth or satire anime content, feel free to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and definitely let me know what you want in the future. Because, well, I guess this video was purely made because of a comment. So, you see, not only do I read your comments, but I am also influenced by them drastically. So I really take the constructive criticism, all the praise, and all the memes, and especially all the memes. All the memes! But I realized this comment harping on me for analyzing emotion was basically just a hate comment, so I guess this video would be the physical representation of Dabby on the haters.
Nice.
Link to the merch in the description. It's a huge help to the channel if you pick one up. Link to my Twitter also in the description. Feel free to follow me there for epic shit posting abilities as well as important channel updates. And of course, that other secret link in the description is my Patreon, which gets my wholehearted thanks for helping me make this channel a reality. Anyone who donates any amount is invited to the Discord server, and I hope to see you all there. Special thanks to the 8 swag coggers, Rari, Sasha Emmanuel Bean, MD, JD Fincher, Q, Zindergarten, Axel, and an anonymous member. Thanks to the 4 Lord Tweegers, Fabian Brandy, Tyler Schumacher, Gavin Anderson, and Large Blab, and the 3 Godus Up Rank, Zachary Wheatley, Dark Element, and Ezra.
Patrons, man, that's cool.
If you also want me to make a new role, the Moon Fishlets. I really appreciate all your guys' support. It really helps me be able to continue what I'm doing. And really, thank you to everyone watching this video, because it's also thanks to you that I'm able to do what I'm doing. Thanks for stopping by. Have yourself a most wonderful evening, and remember to stay weird, fam.
That was a good video. I like it. I like his analysis stuff. It's good. It's good, man. I like that he's doing different things. It doesn't have to be funny all the time, although that moonshine stuff was just like, oh my god. Well, that was cool. So yeah, that was cool. I like it. Not really much to say. We covered all the points. So yeah, Thank you guys very much for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch and discuss in future videos. And I'll see you guys, all of you guys, next time.